The first floor boss was supposed to kill me. That was literally its job. The system had already labeled me fragile, useless, and statistically dead. Then the boss stopped attacking. The dungeon went silent. Something ancient opened one golden eye beneath the floor. At last, my heir has arrived. 6 hours earlier, I was unloading frozen chicken in downtown Cleveland. So yes, my day had taken a small professional turn. The first warning appeared above my head in red letters bright enough for the entire raid line to read. The system read my name as Caleb Ward. My class was fragile. My survival rating was 0.7%. My recommended role was bait, burden, or corpse. The system paused after that, like it was thinking. Then it added one more line. Good luck. I stared at it.
Was that sarcasm?
No one answered, because 200 people were too busy laughing. We were standing in the middle of what used to be downtown Cleveland. I knew that because, before the alarm started, I had been unloading frozen chicken behind a warehouse 8 blocks from there. Now the sky was black, the streets were cracked open, and a stone staircase the size of a football stadium had punched up through the asphalt. Above the staircase floated a gate made of bone-white metal. Above the gate floated the message that had ruined the world. World Dungeon System Online. Floor 1 entry window. 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Unregistered humans will be designated as environmental feed. That last part was the reason everyone was lining up. Not courage. Not destiny. Not some heroic urge to save mankind. We were lining up because the floating death menu said anybody who refused to enter would be turned into fertilizer for the tutorial zone. The government had tried to calm people down for about 40 minutes. Then a news helicopter flew too close to the gate, froze in the air, folded itself into a cube, and dropped into the stairs like a sugar packet. After that, the governor stopped saying words like temporary anomaly. People started saying words like pray. The system also locked safe zone medical access behind floor clearance. That was the part that mattered to me. My mother was stuck in a converted high school clinic 2 districts away with an oxygen tank, a cracked phone, and the kind of calm voice people use when they are trying not to scare you. If I cleared floor 1, I could register one dependent for ration and medicine priority. If I failed, she would get a polite denial message and a number in a queue that did not intend to move. So I lined up, not because I was brave, because the apocalypse had found a way to make paperwork lethal. I was not good at praying. I was good at inventory labels, forklift maintenance, and pretending my lungs did not feel like wet paper whenever winter hit early. So when the system scanned me and gave me the class fragile, I could not even pretend it was wrong. My bones had always been a little too breakable. My joints had always hated stairs. My medical bills had a credit score higher than mine. I was, scientifically speaking, not built for a dungeon. Unfortunately, the dungeon did not offer a complaint department. A guy in red tactical armor stepped in front of me and slapped a hand against my chest. He did not hit me hard. It still hurt. Back of the line, Glass Boy. His nameplate read Tyler Dane. His class was Iron Vanguard. His survival rating was 83.2%. The system had given him a shield almost as tall as my apartment fridge and a jawline that looked like it came with premium subscription features. Behind him, 3 members of his party laughed. There was a woman with twin hatchets and silver hair shaved on one side. Mara Knox. Blood Reaver. Survival rating 71.6%. There was a man with glowing tattoos running up his neck. Bishop Vale. Arc Marksman. Survival rating 68.9%. And there was a kid who looked about 19, pale and terrified, clutching a staff that was longer than he was. Owen Price. Spark Acolyte. Survival rating 41.3%. For people, a full entry squad. They had the kind of stats the system liked. I had a system window that had just called me corpse adjacent.
I was assigned to your squad.
No, you were assigned to the same entry slot. Big difference. A new window appeared between us. Squad 19B, Tyler Dane, Party Leader. Mara Knox. Bishop Vale. Owen Price. Caleb Ward. Tyler stared at my name like it had crawled onto his shoe. Mara leaned around him and looked me up and down.
Is Fragile a real class?
Maybe he takes bonus damage for my contact. Owen did not laugh. He looked at me with an expression that said he wanted to be kind, but also did not want to die near me. I understood. Nobody wants their last emotional act to be politeness. Tyler grabbed the front of my warehouse jacket and dragged me close. Listen carefully, Caleb Ward. When the gate opens, you stay behind me. If something chases us, you run the other way. If a trap needs testing, you step on it. If we find loot, you do not touch it. If we survive, maybe I let you leave with your original number of limbs.
That is generous.
What?
I was expecting a worse employee benefits package.
Mara barked a laugh. Tyler did not. The timer above the gate hit 0. The stairs groaned. The air ripped open. A cold voice filled the city. Welcome, First Wave. Floor 1, the Iron Roots. Objective, reach the heart door. Bonus objective, defeat the floor guardian. Failure, death. Entertainment stream, active. A million tiny blue eyes opened in the air above us. Cameras. The system was broadcasting. Of course it was. The apocalypse had ads now. Tyler shoved me forward. Move. We entered the gate. The world turned inside out. For 1 second, I tasted metal, smoke, and old rain. Then my boots hit stone. We were standing in a tunnel with walls made of black roots twisted through rusted iron. The ceiling was high enough for a truck to pass through. Red moss glowed between the cracks. Something far away screamed, then stopped very suddenly. A new message appeared. Party 19B has entered floor 1. Viewer count, 12,441. Chat moderation, disabled. Tiny comments began scrolling across the side of my vision. No way they brought a fragile. LOL Glass Boy. Iron Vanguard carry. Sacrifice the weak one. Is this live? MOM? Ignore the comments.
Easy for you. They like your shoulders.
Mara grinned. Formation. Me front. Mara right. Bishop back. Owen middle. Caleb. Somewhere inexpensive. We moved. The first trap was obvious. At least, it was obvious to me. 3 stone tiles in the tunnel had scratches around their edges. The iron roots in the wall bent toward them like claws. The red moss was thicker there. Also, there were bones on the floor. I did not consider myself a genius for noticing the bones.
Stop.
Tyler kept walking.
Tyler, stop.
Do not give orders.
There is a pressure trap.
He looked down at the tiles. I do not see a system warning.
That might be the point.
Tyler smiled and stepped on the center tile. The tunnel clicked. Iron roots burst from both walls. Tyler raised his shield just in time. The roots hit with a sound like a car crash. Sparks flew. He slid backward and slammed into Mara. Mara cursed. Bishop jumped back. Owen yelped. I had not moved because my lungs had already voted against sudden activity. The roots retracted. A system notice flashed. Trap triggered. Iron Vanguard damage reduced. Party efficiency penalty, 3%. Tyler glared at me. I raised both hands.
On the bright side, you prove the floor is educational.
Mara snorted again. How did you see that?
The walls lean toward the trigger tiles. Like the dungeon was holding its breath.
Bishop stared. Lucky guess.
Sure.
It was not a lucky guess. When I looked at the tunnel, I saw more than stone and roots. Not a clear map. Not glowing arrows. Just patterns. The system had given me a class called Fragile, but it had also given me a skill. Rule Reading, Level 1. Passive. Allows limited perception of structural intent in dungeon rules. Warning. Overuse may cause migraine, bleeding, disorientation, or cognitive failure. The system had not shown that part to everyone else. I knew because if Tyler had seen the word Rule Reading, he would have already tried to sell me. We kept walking. The dungeon got worse. The second chamber was a forest of iron roots growing out of a floor made of cracked concrete. Rusted cars hung from the ceiling like fruit. Something had dragged them there, welded them with vines, and left them dripping oil. Then the monsters came. They crawled out of the walls on 6 legs, each one the size of a dog, with bodies made of bark and exposed rebar. Their faces were humanish, which was one of the dungeon's less charming design decisions. The system labeled them Ironlings. Level 2. Weakness. Fire. Blunt force. Root core. Tyler charged. Mara followed, laughing like she had been waiting her whole life for a legal reason to hit something with an axe. Bishop fired glowing bolts from the back. Owen whispered a prayer and sent tiny sparks into the nearest ironling. I stayed behind a wrecked sedan and tried not to die in a way that would look stupid on replay. The fight should have been easy. It was not. Every time Tyler smashed an ironling, two smaller ones peeled out of the broken roots. Every time Mara cut one apart, the pieces dragged themselves together. Bishop's bolts burned their bark, but left the rebar skeleton intact. They are not dying. Hit harder. Classic strategy, often used by people who had never met a problem they could not disappoint. I forced myself to look past the bodies. The floor had a rhythm. Every ironling stayed within a few yards of one of the hanging cars. Each car had roots wrapped around the engine block. The roots pulsed whenever a broken monster reassembled. My vision sharpened. Pain stabbed behind my left eye. Root core linked to vehicle hearts. Destruction of host nodes will terminate minor spawns. I blinked blood out of my eye. That was new.
Cars.
What?
The engines. Break the engines.
Why?
Because this dungeon has terrible taste in metaphors.
Mara did not wait. She sprinted up the trunk of a root, jumped onto the hood of a hanging pickup, and drove both axes into the engine block. The car screamed. That was not a sound cars usually made. Every ironling connected to it froze, cracked, and collapsed into rust flakes. Bishop's face changed. He aimed at another engine and fired 3 bolts. Another cluster died. Owen blasted a third with lightning. Tyler stood there, clearly annoyed that the bait had become useful. 10 seconds later, the chamber was silent. A system notice appeared. Party 19B cleared root garden. Contribution ranking: 1. Mara Knox. 2. Bishop Vale. 3. Owen Price. 4. Tyler Dane. 5. Caleb Ward. I stared at the ranking.
I found the weak point.
The system responded immediately. Support contribution is not currently valued in Floor 1 scoring.
Of course it isn't.
System knows.
I heard him. He saved us time.
He yelled cars after we already had it handled.
You did not have it handled.
He stepped toward me. For a second, I thought he was going to hit me. Then the dungeon shook. A deep horn sounded from somewhere below. The tunnel ahead opened into a circular chamber. At its center stood a stone door covered in claw marks. The heart door. The objective. Between us and the door waited the floor guardian. It was not the dragon. Not yet. It was a knight made from iron roots, 15 feet tall, with a furnace for a chest and a sword that looked like a highway support beam. Boss encounter: the Rusted Warden. Level 5. Recommended party average: Level 3. Party 19B average: Level 1.8. Warning: survival chance low. Tyler lifted his shield. Mara rolled her shoulders. Bishop swallowed. Owen looked like he might faint. I looked at the boss and saw the chamber rules unfold like cracks in glass. The warden stood on a circle of metal plates. 4 chains connected its back to the walls. The furnace in its chest pulsed every 9 seconds. The sword dragged sparks across the floor, but only when the furnace dimmed. Pattern. Anchor. Delay. Weakness. My head split with pain.
Do not rush it. The chains feed it. It vents every 9 seconds. When the furnace dims, the sword gets lighter. That is when it swings.
Tyler did not look at me. On my mark. We break through.
Tyler.
Shut up. He charged. The warden moved faster than something that size had any right to move. Its sword came down. Tyler blocked. The impact drove him to one knee. The floor cracked around him. His shield bent inward. Mara went for the left chain. Bishop fired at the furnace. Owen threw sparks at the right wall.
3 seconds. Move.
Mara jumped back as the chain lashed out.
Vent.
The furnace opened. A wave of heat blasted across the chamber. Tyler's armor glowed. Bishop screamed as his sleeve caught fire. Owen threw himself behind a pillar. The warden raised its sword again. I saw the rule. It could not turn while venting.
Mara. Back plate.
She understood instantly. She ran behind it and hacked at the connection point where the chain entered its spine. The chain snapped. The warden staggered. Bishop fired into the exposed joint. Tyler finally listened. He slammed his shield into the warden's knee. The first phase collapsed. For a moment, we were winning. Then Tyler saw the chest. When the warden's furnace opened, something gold flickered inside. A loot core. Tyler's eyes changed. Hold it down.
Do not touch the core.
He ignored me. Of course he did. The warden was not dead. The furnace was not a reward. It was a pressure valve. Tyler reached into the open chest. The rule snapped shut. The boss grabbed him. The chamber went red. Greed trigger activated. Boss phase 2, root tithe. Black roots burst from the floor and wrapped around Tyler's arms, legs, throat, and armor. His shield clattered away. Mara sprinted toward him. More roots rose and blocked her. Bishop fired until his tattoos dimmed. Owen froze. Caleb. Not because he trusted me. Because people are very good at remembering the disposable guy when the disposable guy is not the one being disposed of. I looked at the chamber. The patterns were gone. No, not gone. Hidden under too many rules. My skill strained. Pain tore through my skull. Blood ran from my nose. A system warning flashed. Rule reading overload. Continuing may result in permanent damage.
Yeah. Get in line.
The roots were not feeding from the walls anymore. They were feeding from us. Every time Mara struggled, the boss healed. Every time Bishop fired, the roots thickened. Every spark from Owen fed the furnace. Every panic reaction made it stronger. The only way to break the rule was to stop giving it what it wanted.
Everyone stop. Stop attacking.
Mara looked at me like I had lost my mind. Tyler's face was turning purple. Bishop lowered his hands. Owen stopped casting. Mara froze with her axes raised. The chamber went quiet. The warden's furnace dimmed. For 1 second, the roots loosened. I moved. I am not fast. I want that understood. In every story where someone says, I moved, it sounds heroic. Like they became lightning. I became a tired warehouse worker with asthma running across a murder room. It was not cinematic. It was mostly wheezing. But I reached Tyler's fallen shield. It was too heavy. I dragged it instead. The warden's furnace started to glow again. Caleb. I shoved the shield under the root bundle at Tyler's feet, angled it against a floor plate, and kicked the edge. The plate depressed. The boss rule recognized the shield as Tyler's active defense. The roots tried to feed on it. There was no fear in a shield. No panic. No pain. No life. The rule choked. Mara saw the opening and cut Tyler free. Bishop fired one last bolt into the exposed furnace. Owen screamed and poured every spark he had into the broken chain joint. The warden exploded. Rust, fire, and root splinters filled the room. I hit the ground. For several seconds, all I could hear was my own heartbeat and the distant roar of the system audience. Then the loot messages appeared. Floor Guardian defeated. Party 19B has cleared Floor 1. Bonus objective completed. Reward distribution calculating. Tyler coughed and rolled onto his back. His armor was ruined. His pride looked worse. Mara helped Owen sit up. Bishop leaned against a pillar, breathing hard. A reward chest rose from the floor. Tyler saw it. He stood too fast, staggered, and walked toward it.
Wait.
He did not. The chest opened. Inside was a black scale the size of my palm. It did not glow gold or blue like the other loot. It drank the light around it. The system hesitated. Unidentified legacy item. Claim restriction, unknown. Recommended action, report to system authority. Tyler grabbed it. The scale burned him. He screamed and dropped it. Mara tried next. It sliced her palm without moving. Bishop's tattoos flickered and went dark when he reached toward it. Owen backed away. The scale slid across the floor. Toward me. I did not touch it. I am not that stupid. Then the dungeon touched me. The floor opened under my feet. No warning. No trap line. No system message. Just stone becoming empty air. I fell. I heard Owen shout my name. I heard Tyler yell something that was probably not supportive. Then the chamber vanished above me. I dropped through darkness. For a long time, there was no sound except wind. Then something breathed. Not near me. Below me. The air heated. The darkness turned red. I landed on a pile of ash. It should have killed me. It did not. Something had caught me with fire. I raised my head. I was no longer on floor 1. I was in a cavern so large the ceiling disappeared into smoke. Broken chains thicker than subway tunnels hung from the stone. Rivers of molten gold ran between black islands. The bones of things bigger than buildings lay half-buried in ash. At the center of the cavern rested a dragon. Not a fantasy poster dragon. Not a sleek, pretty creature built to sell limited edition bookmarks. This dragon looked ancient enough to remember when mountains were soft. Its body was covered in cracked black scales. Its horns were broken. Its wings were pinned by chains made of glowing white script. One eye was sealed shut by a metal spike. The other opened and filled the cavern with red light. The system screamed, "Unauthorized depth access. Unauthorized depth access. Floor 1 participant has entered sealed final chamber. Error. Error. Error." I tried to stand. My legs voted no. The dragon lowered its head until its eye was bigger than my entire body. I expected it to eat me. That seemed fair. Instead, the dragon spoke. Its voice was not loud. It did not need to be. It arrived inside my bones. "At last. My heir has arrived." I blinked.
I think you have the wrong guy.
The dragon's eye narrowed. The system flashed another message. Final boss entity. Veyrath, last of the Furnace Kings. Threat level, absolute. Do not engage. Do not listen. Do not accept terms. That was the first time the system sounded scared. Veyrath exhaled. The ash around me lifted in a circle. "You read rules.
I read labels at work, mostly.
You read the trap. You read the roots. You read greed. You heard the dungeon underneath the system."
I heard pain and then I bled on my shirt.
"Good. Pain means the lie resisted you." The chains around his wings tightened. White script burned across them. Veyrath's head dipped, but he did not cry out. A system avatar appeared between us. It looked like a person made of polished glass, faceless except for a thin blue smile. Participant Caleb Ward, step away from the entity. This creature is the final boss of the world dungeon. Contact will result in corruption. Veyrath laughed. The cavern shook. Final boss. That is what thieves call a locked door. The moderator turned its blank face toward the dragon. "Silence, hostile asset." Veyrath's eye burned brighter. "Tell him, little cage. Tell him what your dungeon feeds." Participant Caleb Ward, you have reached an invalid chamber due to a floor transition error. Please place your hand on the return marker. A blue circle appeared at my feet. It looked safe. I did not trust it. Rule reading stirred behind my eyes. The circle had no destination. It was not a return marker. It was deletion with better branding. I stepped back. The moderator's head tilted. Participant Caleb Ward, non-compliance will lower your survival rating.
It is already under 1%.
Correct.
Then I do not have a lot to lose.
Veyrath's mouth curved. The dragon was smiling. It was horrifying. I liked it more than Tyler's smile. The moderator raised one glass hand. White script chains snapped out of the cavern walls and wrapped around my wrists. Pain exploded through my arms. Participant correction in progress. Veyrath moved. The chains pinning his wings burned brighter. His body cracked. Fire leaked between his scales. He could not break free, but he could reach one claw. Just one. The claw touched the ash in front of me. A black scale rose from the ground. The same scale from the reward chest. Only now it was whole, shining with red heat. Choose. Do not touch that item.
Why?
Because it will kill you. Because it will make you inconvenient. That was the first honest choice I had been offered all day. So I touched the scale. The world caught fire. Not around me. Inside me. Every nerve became a fuse. Every bone became a furnace door. I saw a sky filled with dragons. I saw them falling. I saw white system chains wrapping around wings, throats, hearts. I saw human champions in shining armor cheer as the first dragon was branded boss. I saw Veyrath younger, vast and terrible, standing between a city of terrified humans and something worse than the dungeon. Then I saw the system rewrite the story. Savior became monster. King became boss. Guardians became loot. The visions ended. I was on my knees. A black mark burned on the back of my hand. It looked like a dragon scale split by a line of red fire. New legacy detected. Dragon inheritance, sealed. Rule reading has evolved. New skill, ashen sight. New status, system error. The moderator backed away. For the first time, its smile vanished. Veyrath lowered his head. His voice was weaker now. The dungeon will call you fragile. Let it. The cavern began to collapse. The moderator flickered. Participant must be quarantined. Veyrath as I met mine. Climb. Break the floors. Find my stolen hearts. And when they call me final boss, ask who wrote the ending. His chains tightened. He bared his teeth. The ash swallowed me. I woke in the heart door chamber. Mara was kneeling beside me. Owen looked like he had seen a ghost, and then found out the ghost had a deductible. Bishop had an arrow of light drawn and aimed at my face. Tyler stood behind him, holding his burned hand. The reward chest was gone. The heart door was open. The dungeon exit glowed beyond it. Everyone stared at the mark on my hand. A system warning screamed above my head. Participant Caleb Ward has been contaminated by Final Boss Legacy. Bounty issued. Reward for termination, rare class upgrade. Tyler looked at the bounty. Then he looked at me. His fear turned into something uglier. Greed, again. Mara slowly stood. Caleb, what did you do? I looked at the dragon mark. It pulsed once, like a second heartbeat.
I think I got promoted.
Behind us, from somewhere deep under the floor, Veyrath roared. And every system camera in the dungeon went dark. The first person who tried to kill me for the bounty was Tyler. I wish I could say I was surprised. I had known him for less than 2 hours, but some people have a very clear brand. The system warning still hung above me. Participant Caleb Ward has been contaminated by Final Boss Legacy. Reward for termination, rare class upgrade. Current bounty claimants, 1. Tyler raised his ruined shield. His burned hand shook, but his eyes were bright. Nothing personal. Then his face twitched. For half a second, he looked less like an arrogant tank and more like a man who had not slept since the sky broke. My little brother is in a ration queue. Rare class upgrade moves my family to protected status. Medicine. Food. Walls. You understand that, right? I did. That was the worst part.
I understand why the system picked a reward that would make decent people consider murder.
Tyler's jaw hardened. Do not make this noble. I am not decent. I am practical. Mara stepped between us. Tyler, put the shield down. You saw the reward. Rare class upgrade. You know what that means. It means the system wants him dead. Exactly. The system saved the world today. The system gave us classes. The system gave us a way to survive. If it says he is contaminated, maybe we should listen. Owen clutched his staff tighter.
It also told us the return marker was safe.
What? I lifted my hand. The dragon mark pulsed. For 1 second, the air around us filled with red sparks. Not fire. Memory. A blue circle. A glass-faced moderator. Chains on my wrists. Veyrath's eye in the dark. Owen gasped. Mara went very still. Bishop lowered his bow half an inch. Tyler did not lower his shield. Nice trick. Boss corruption comes with hallucinations. Great. The heart door behind us trembled. The exit portal flickered. A timer appeared. Floor exit closing in 2 o'clock. Parties remaining after closure will be recycled. Recycled. That sounds healthy. Tyler took 1 step toward me. Mara lifted both axes. Try it. He stopped. His eyes moved from her to Bishop. Bishop looked away. Then to Owen. We should go. The timer hit 1:43. Tyler smiled. Fine. We leave. But the second we get out, every guild in the safe zone will see that bounty.
Then I guess I should enjoy the next minute.
We ran through the heart door. The exit did not take us back to Cleveland. It dropped us into a safe zone. At least, that was what the system called it. The system identified the area as Safe Zone 3, Terminal Plaza. Temporary non-combat protection was active. Market, class training, guild registration, and broadcast services were available. Then came the warning. Non-combat protection did not apply to bounty duels, system warrants, or approved executions.
Approved executions. Very comforting.
Terminal Plaza had been built over what used to be a train station. The tracks were gone. The platforms had become terraces. Shops had grown out of the walls like polished black kiosks. Thousands of people crowded under a glass ceiling that showed not the sky, but a leaderboard. Top floor clearers. Top guilds. Top kill count. Top donations. Active bounties. My name appeared in the bounty column before I even finished reading the others. Caleb Ward. Fragile. System error. Bounty. Rare class upgrade plus 5,000 credits. Status. Safe zone protection limited. A few hundred heads turned toward me. You never really understand the phrase, wrong kind of attention, until strangers start calculating your market value with their eyes. Mara stood on my left. Bishop stood on my right. Owen stayed behind me, which would have been flattering if he had not been using me as a visual shield. Tyler walked 10 feet away and raised his hands. People.
Do not.
He did. This guy is marked by the final boss. My squad dragged him through floor 1. He fell into an illegal chamber and came back corrupted. The system wants him dead. The crowd murmured. A woman in green armor stepped forward. Her nameplate read, RHEA Sloan. Class, Rift Scout. Guild, Prime Ladder. Survival rating, 78.4%. Prime Ladder. I knew the name because the leaderboard had them at number 1. They had cleared floor 3, while most of us were still trying to understand why the apocalypse had patched notes. Rhea looked at me, not the bounty. That made me nervous. People who look at the person before the reward are usually either decent or dangerous. Sometimes both. She approached with one hand, near a curved blade on her hip. Show me the mark.
No hello?
Hello. Show me the mark.
Strong social skills.
Mara shifted. Back off. Blood Reaver. Floor 1 clear. Good instincts. Bad armor maintenance. What? Bishop Vale. Arc Marksman. Tattoos are overheating. You will lose nerve conduction in your left hand if you keep firing through pain. Bishop's face tightened. Spark Acolyte. Mana pool unstable. Sit down before you faint. Owen immediately sat on a broken bench. Iron Vanguard. Greed Trigger Survivor. You nearly wiped your party. Tyler's mouth opened. Nothing useful came out. Fragile. System error. Bounty target. Dragon mark. The word dragon made the crowd louder. I kept my hand closed. I am not here for the bounty. I am here because the system used the word legacy. It almost never does that.
Almost?
Her expression changed for a fraction of a second. 3 times on record. All 3 people vanished before the next floor.
Vanished how?
Officially? Containment failure.
And unofficially?
Prime Ladder killed 2 of them. The system took the 3rd. That was refreshingly direct.
Are you Prime Ladder?
Yes.
Then this conversation got worse.
I said I am not here for the bounty.
People keep saying things are not personal today. It has not improved the day.
Rhea almost smiled. Then the plaza lights dimmed. A massive blue screen unfolded above the crowd. System announcement. Floor 2 entry opens in 30 minutes. Mandatory entry for all cleared participants. Failure to enter will result in credit freeze, ration lock, and safe zone expulsion. Special condition. Bounty target Caleb Ward must enter floor 2 with a registered party. Parties sheltering target may be eligible for corruption penalty. The crowd moved away from me. Fast. Nothing reveals friendship like a corruption penalty. Tyler smiled from a safe distance. Good luck finding a party, Glass Boy. He has won. No, he had won. Party leader can dissolve squad after clear. A system window appeared. Tyler Dane has dissolved Party 19B. You are now unregistered. Mara cursed. Bishop looked at me, then away. Owen whispered, I am sorry. I did not blame him. Not completely. The system had designed the moment very well. Separate the target. Raise the cost of helping him. Offer a reward for killing him. Simple rules. Ugly results. Rhea studied the screen. You need a registered party before floor 2 opens.
That sounds like a problem.
It is worse. Floor 2 is the Mirror Orchard. It punishes solo entrants.
Punishes how?
It makes copies of whatever you are most afraid of. I looked down at my shaking hand.
Great. I was worried the dungeon might run out of thoughtful gifts.
Mara turned to Bishop. We register him. Bishop hesitated. Mara's eyes hardened. He saved us. He also has a system bounty. If the penalty hits, my sister loses ration access. She is 11, Mara. That landed harder than Tyler's shield. Owen would not meet my eyes. I want to help. But my dad is in safe zone too. The system already locked his meds once. I swallowed.
Do not throw your families under the bus for me.
Mara looked furious. Caleb.
No. They are right.
I hated saying it. I hated that the system had made cowardice look like responsibility. Rhea lifted her hand. A party request appeared. Rhea Sloan invites you to form temporary party. Party name, unsponsored. Members, Rhea Sloan, Caleb Ward. Warning, insufficient party size for floor 2 recommendation. Accept? I stared at her.
Why?
Because Prime Ladder wants you dead. I want to know why.
That is not comforting.
It is honest. Mara stepped forward. Add me. Rhea looked surprised. Blood Reaver, if you join him, your bounty protection drops. Good. I was getting bored. Bishop closed his eyes. For a long second, I thought he would walk away. My sister would be furious if she found out I let a guy die after he saved my hand. He accepted. Owen stood on shaky legs. I am still terrified.
Healthy.
But I am more terrified of finding out Tyler survives longer than us. Mara laughed. Owen accepted. Our new party formed. Unsponsored party registered. Members: Caleb Ward, Fragile/System Error. Rhea Sloan, Rift Scout. Mara Knox, Blood Reaver. Bishop Vale, Arc Marksman. Owen Price, Spark Acolyte. Party stability, poor. Survival chance, 12.4%. Viewer interest, rising. The chat comments returned. Dragon Guy has a party? Rhea went rogue? Unsponsored Arc, let's go. Kill him for the class upgrade. Mara is crazy. Owen protect Squad Baby. Owen squinted at the comments. Why am I Squad Baby? Because the internet can identify weakness. Rhea cut through the moment. Floor 2 opens in 26 minutes. We do not have time to shop our feelings.
Good. My feelings are expensive.
Our party wallet had 38 credits. The cheapest healing vial cost 120.
Excellent. We can afford water and half a bandage.
Rhea dumped 3 black monster cores onto a kiosk counter. The kiosk swallowed them and paid out 410 credits.
Floor 3 souvenirs?
Emergency fund.
Prepared people are terrifying.
She bought only what we needed. Healing gel, smoke charges, a mana stabilizer for Owen, bow wire for Bishop, and a patch dungeon coat for me. The coat had 2 points of defense and a special effect called slightly less likely to be immediately punctured. I put it on.
Finally. Luxury.
Rhea grabbed my wrist before we left the kiosk. Your mark. I need to know what Prime Ladder is hunting. I opened my palm. The dragon mark pulsed. Ashen Sight activated without permission. The plaza vanished. For one heartbeat, I saw Rhea in a burning corridor. She was younger, bleeding, and holding a broken Prime Ladder badge. A boy behind her screamed as blue system chains dragged him into the floor. Then the vision snapped back. Rhea had gone pale. What did you see? I decided not to lie.
Someone was taken by the system. You knew him.
Her jaw tightened. My brother. Mara stopped pretending not to listen. Rhea looked away. He received a legacy mark during the second wave. Prime Ladder promised protection. Gideon promised order. Then they handed him to a moderator and called it voluntary integration.
It was not voluntary.
No. The dragon mark burned. Veyrath's voice moved through the heat. Stolen hearts. Climb. Break the floors. I gripped my hand until the mark faded. The floor 2 gate opened. It looked like an orchard grown inside a cathedral. Silver trees bent over a path of black glass. Each tree carried mirrors instead of fruit. In every mirror, something moved. Mirror orchard. Objective: collect 3 silver fruits and reach the exit altar. Floor rule: fear reflection. Warning: violence against reflections may strengthen them. Bonus objective: locate the hidden root. Special condition: system error participant detected. Observer moderation increased. Rhea read the warning twice. Do not attack your reflection unless I call it. Mara twirled an axe.
No promises.
We entered. The orchard was quiet in the way hospitals are quiet at night. Not peaceful, just waiting. The first mirror fruit turned toward me. My reflection stared back. Except it was not me. It was me from a hospital bed 6 years earlier, thin and gray, with tubes in my arms, and my mother crying beside me. I stopped walking. The reflection smiled. You are still the same. The others froze as their own mirrors woke. Mara saw herself kneeling in a pit, hands chained, axes gone. Bishop saw his tattoos burning black, while a little girl cried behind him. Owen saw an empty dinner table. Rhea saw her brother. The orchard whispered in all our voices. Too weak. Too late. Too selfish. Too scared. The mirrors began dropping from the trees. Each one cracked open. Our fear stepped out. Mine wore a hospital gown. Its bones showed through its skin. Its eyes were mine, but older. It walked toward me. I could not move. Not because of magic. Because part of me believed it. The system called me fragile because my body had spent my whole life building evidence. The reflection lifted one thin hand. Lie down. This is where you always end. Mara shouted and swung at her own reflection. Her axe passed through it. The creature grew taller. Floor rule reminder. Violence against reflections may strengthen them. Mara stumbled back. Her fierce self smiled with too many teeth. Owen raised his staff, shaking. Do not cast. The reflections surrounded us. Ria's brother reflection stepped close to her. You left me. Ria's face cracked. I saw the orchard rule. Not the whole thing. Just the intention. The mirrors fed on reaction. Attack made them stronger. Denial made them solid. Fear gave them shape. So what broke a fear reflection? Not courage. That would be too clean. Acceptance. I laughed. It came out rough and wrong. My reflection tilted its head. You think this is funny?
No. I think you are accurate.
The reflection stopped. I stepped toward it. My knees shook. My lungs hurt. My dragon mark burned.
You are right. I am fragile. I have been fragile since I was a kid. I have broken bones stepping off curbs. I have spent nights calculating whether breathing was worth the hospital bill. I am not secretly built like Tyler under this jacket.
The reflection's skin cracked.
But you are not the whole story.
I touched its chest.
You are the receipt. Not the ending.
The reflection shattered. A silver fruit dropped into my hands. Rule break detected. Fear reflection resolved without violence. Reward, silver fruit 1/3. Dragon inheritance resonance plus 3%. The orchard hissed. Ria stared at me. How?
Therapy would have been cheaper, but the dungeon wanted drama.
Bishop understood first. He turned to his reflection, the burning version of himself. My sister depends on me. And that scares me because I like being needed. That does not make me noble. It makes me responsible. His reflection cracked. Owen faced the empty dinner table. My dad might die, and I cannot fix everything by being useful. The table shattered. Mara looked at her chained reflection. For once, she did not joke.
I am terrified that if I stop fighting, there is nothing left of me.
Her reflection lowered its axis. Then it shattered too. Ria was last. Her brother stood before her, blue chains around his arms. You left me. Ria's hands curled into fists. I did. Because Prime Ladder told me the system would save you. Because I wanted to believe rank meant truth. Because I was scared. The reflection reached for her. Ria did not move away. I am still scared. But I am done obeying the people who took you. The reflection smiled sadly. Then it broke into silver light. 3 fruits floated above the path. The exit altar appeared at the far end of the orchard. For one breath, I thought we had won. Then the system cameras blinked open. A glass moderator stepped out between the trees. Not the same one from Veyrath's chamber. This one wore a crown of blue light. Moderator Seraph. Authority tier, high. Participant Caleb Ward. Your progression has been flagged as illegal.
Nice to meet you too.
Ria drew her blade. Seraph turned its blank face to her. Ria Sloan. Prime Ladder Scout. Contract violation detected. Ria's guild badge flashed red. Prime Ladder Field contract breached. Penalty pending. Ria ripped the badge off and threw it into the dirt. Send them my resignation. Seraph's head tilted. Resignation requires manager approval. Mara raised both axes.
I approve.
The orchard mirrors all turned toward us. Seraph lifted one hand. System bounty escalation. All parties on floor 2 are now authorized to invade Mirror Orchard instance. Reward doubled. A portal opened behind us. Then another. Then 10. Players poured in. Some wore scavenged gear like us. Others wore polished armor with guild logos and clean system weapons. At the front stood Tyler Dane. His shield had been repaired. His smile had too. Beside him walked 3 Prime Ladder hunters in white armor. One of them looked at Ria. Scout Sloan. Step away from the error. Ria did not. Tyler pointed his shield at me. See, Caleb? I told you the next minute would be your best one. I looked at the silver fruits floating above the path. I looked at the mirrors. I looked at the dragon mark. The orchard rule whispered under my skin. Fear feeds reflection. Violence strengthens fear. But greed? Greed had rules too. I smiled. Mara noticed.
Oh no, she said. That is your stupid idea face.
It is not stupid.
That means it is very stupid.
I stepped toward the invading players and raised my marked hand. The bounty icon above me flared bright red.
Hey! I shouted. Anyone want a rare class upgrade?
They surged forward. Ria grabbed my sleeve. Caleb.
Trust me.
That is a large ask. The first hunter crossed into the mirror path. Every mirror fruit turned toward him. His reflection stepped out. Then another. Then another. Not fear reflections. Greed reflections. Versions of him wearing better armor, holding better weapons, sitting above leaderboards, crushing weaker players under his boots. He swung at one. It grew. Another player attacked. Another reflection split. Within seconds, the orchard filled with hunters fighting their own hunger. The system had opened the invasion. It had not turned off the floor rules. Mara laughed so hard, she almost missed blocking a stray arrow. Bishop fired warning shots, driving players deeper into mirror clusters. Owen threw sparks at the ground, not people, forcing them onto bad paths. Rhea moved like a shadow, cutting straps, disabling weapons, never killing. And me? I walked to the altar. Every step made my head pound. Seraph glided beside me. You are exploiting floor rules.
Yes.
That is prohibited.
By which rule?
Seraph stopped. For one tiny second, the moderator had no answer. Rule reading opened. A line of hidden script appeared in the air. Floor 2 primary rule. All entering participants must face the reflection they bring. I touched the altar. The 3 silver fruits burned black. Hidden root located. Bonus objective complete. Rule interpretation challenge successful. Mirror orchard clear. Seraph's glass face cracked. Dragon inheritance resonance. 18%. New skill unlocked. False rule detection. Description. Identify system instructions that do not match floor law. Veyrath's voice stirred. Good. The altar opened. Below it was not an exit. It was a root. A black root wrapped around a dragon heart the size of a car engine. It pulsed weakly, chained in white script. Stolen heart fragment detected. Furnace King Legacy, January 7th. My mark burned like a brand. Seraph's voice became sharp. Do not touch that. I looked at the moderator.
You keep saying that.
Then I reached into the altar and touched the dragon heart. The orchard caught fire. Not orange fire. Black fire. Ash rose from every mirror. The reflections screamed and turned into smoke. The invading players collapsed as the greed copies vanished. Mara dragged Owen behind the altar. Bishop shielded his eyes. Rhea stood beside me, blade ready. I saw another vision. Dragons standing around 7 hearts of fire. Humans kneeling before them, not as slaves, but as allies. Then blue system chains descended from the sky. The hearts were ripped out. Each heart became a floor core. Each floor core became a dungeon. The world dungeon was not built on monsters. It was built on dragons. The vision ended. The heart fragment dissolved into my mark. New legacy awakening. Ashen sight level 2. Dragon inheritance resonance. 31%. Physical strain exceeds safe limits. Organ damage warning. I coughed blood onto the altar. That ruined the moment. Mara caught me before I fell.
Caleb?
I am okay.
Rhea looked at the blood. You are aggressively not okay. Seraph floated above the burning orchard, face cracked, crown dimming. This progression path is illegal, it said.
Then patch it.
For the first time, Veyrath's voice came through clearly. Not just heat. Not just instinct. A sentence. Caleb Ward. The orchard shook. The floor exit opened behind the altar. Veyrath spoke again. They will send a champion now.
Who?
Seraph answered. Floor 3 emergency correction authorized. The moderator raised both hands. A new broadcast filled the air. Global system notice. System error. Caleb Ward has stolen a floor core. Prime Ladder has been granted hunting rights. Champion deployment approved. The exit portal turned black. Inside it, I saw a man in white armor standing on a bridge of bone. His spear was made of blue light. His face was hidden behind a mirrored helm. The leaderboard above him read, Rank 1 clearer. Gideon Cross. Class, System Paladin. Title, The First Hero. Rhea went still. Mara whispered, That is not good. Bishop swallowed. Owen sat down again. Gideon Cross looked through the portal like he could see me. Then he raised his spear. Caleb Ward, he said, his voice carried by the system to every safe zone, every floor, every watcher. By authority of the World Dungeon System, I challenge you to a correction duel. A new window opened. Correction duel acceptance required. Refusal penalty, party execution. I stared at the words. Mara gripped her axes. Rhea's face went cold. The system had learned. It had stopped aiming at me. It was aiming at everyone who stood near me. Veyrath's voice burned in my bones. Do not fight him as a hero.
Why not? I whispered.
Because heroes belong to the system. The duel timer began. 10 minutes. Gideon Cross pointed his spear at my heart, and the system cameras turned back on. The system gave me 10 minutes before Gideon Cross tried to kill my entire party. That was rude. I would have preferred 15. The correction duel window followed us through the exit portal and into Safe Zone 3. It hung above my head in giant blue letters, because apparently the apocalypse had no privacy settings. The correction duel listed my opponent as Gideon Cross. The stakes were system error termination. The refusal penalty was party execution. Time until arena transfer, 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Everyone in Terminal Plaza saw it. Then everyone took 3 steps away from us. Again, I was getting used to that part. Mara read the timer and tightened her grip on her axes. 10 minutes to beat the number 1 clearer. Great. We should stretch. Owen looked like he might throw up. Bishop stared at Gideon's name with the expression of a man watching a meteor receive his home address. Rhea did not look afraid. That worried me more. People who are not afraid of impossible fights usually know something worse than fear.
You know him?
Rhea nodded once. Gideon Cross founded Prime Ladder.
Of course he did.
He cleared the first 3 floors before the rest of us reached floor 2. The system gave him the first heroic title. After that, every guild copied his methods.
What methods?
Rhea looked at the leaderboard. Fast clears. Forced sacrifices. Rule suppression. Anyone who questioned the system became inefficient.
That is a very polished word for dead.
Prime Ladder likes polished words. She lowered her voice. Gideon is not stupid, Caleb. He is not Tyler with better armor. He believes the system is the only reason any safe zone still has walls. He thinks sacrificing corrupted targets saves thousands of ordinary people. That is why people follow him. Not because he laughs like a villain. Because he makes murder sound like emergency management. The dragon mark burned. My body was not doing well. That is the polite version. The honest version was that every breath felt like I had swallowed broken glass. My right arm kept twitching. Black veins crawled from the mark to my wrist and faded, then came back. The heart fragment from floor 2 pulsed inside me like a stolen furnace. A healing kiosk scanned me when we passed. Patient condition, illegal. Service denied.
Rude.
Mara grabbed a healing vial from a market stall. That costs. Mara turned and smiled. He stopped shouting. She shoved the vial into my hand. Drink. I drank. The vial tasted like mint, battery acid, and regret. Healing effect reduced by Dragon Legacy conflict. Tissue stabilization, 8%.
8%. I can feel the luxury.
Bishop stepped closer. Can you beat Gideon?
No.
Owen made a small sound.
Not in a fair fight.
Mara's grin returned. There he is. Rhea crossed her arms. Correction duels use system-approved arenas. The rules favor the challenger if the target is marked corrupted. Gideon will have title bonuses, equipment authorization, and broadcast priority.
Broadcast priority?
The cameras make him look better. I stared at her.
Incredible. Even murder has production value.
The timer hit 8:11. Veyrath's voice moved through the mark. The first hero carries a chain heart. I clenched my burned hand.
What is a chain heart?
Dragon voice.
Dragon voice.
Nobody laughed. Progress. Veyrath answered in heat and image. I saw Gideon standing before a white altar. A blue system chain entered his chest and wrapped around a small ember shaped like a heart. Not a dragon heart. A counterfeit. The system had made him a hero by giving him a piece of stolen authority. Not real fire. A leash pretending to be a crown.
He is powered by the system. Not just sponsored. Powered.
That tracks. Gideon never gets tired. His wounds close if the audience approves. The more people believe he is righteous, the stronger he gets. The cameras floated closer. Of course they did. Viewer count appeared. Live duel countdown. Current viewers, 8,421,993. I swallowed.
8 million people are watching?
Bishop checked the number. 9 million now.
Great. I always wanted to die in front of more people than live in New York City.
Owen raised his hand. I have an idea. We all looked at him. He flinched, then forced himself to continue. If Gideon gets stronger when people believe he is righteous, we need to make them doubt him. Mara pointed at Owen with an axe. Squad baby has teeth. Please do not call me that. Bishop's eyes lit up. The broadcast comments are open during duels. But Gideon's feed is moderated. Rhea looked at me. Your system status already breaks camera control. When Veyrath roared, the cameras went dark.
So we hijacked the broadcast.
Can you? I looked at my mark. False rule detection stirred. Rule reading opened. The dual window had hidden lines. Most system windows did. The visible rules were for participants. The hidden rules were for the system. Audience conviction modifies hero title output. Moderator narration may influence conviction. System-approved camera angles may suppress contradiction. Suppress contradiction. That was the weak point. Gideon did not just need people to cheer. He needed them to never see anything that made the cheering difficult.
I cannot beat him by looking stronger. I have to make the arena show what he is.
Rhea's mouth tightened. That means you need evidence. I looked at her.
Your brother.
Her eyes went sharp. No.
Rhea.
No. The system took him. Prime Ladder erased the file. I have pieces, not proof.
What pieces?
She did not answer. The timer hit 6:20. Rhea looked away. Then she reached under the collar of her armor and pulled out a cracked data charm. It looked like a small black coin. My brother wore this during his last floor. It recorded 30 seconds before the moderator took him. I never released it. Prime Ladder said if I did, they would cut ration access to everyone in my block. Mara's voice dropped. They threatened civilians? They called it community stability. Rhea laughed without humor. Bishop held out his hand. I can wire it into a spell shot. Rhea looked at him. You can broadcast it? Not through the system. He glanced at my dragon mark. But maybe through him. Owen raised his staff. My sparks can amplify the signal if I do not aim them as an attack. Mara rolled her neck. And I keep Gideon from turning Caleb into floor decoration. Rhea placed the charm in Bishop's hand. For a second, her fingers did not let go. If this fails, my brother dies twice. It will not. That was brave. Possibly stupid. But brave. The timer hit 4:55. The plaza split open. Stone seats rose around us in a circle. The safe zone became an arena, pushing the crowd back behind transparent walls. Blue fire traced a ring on the floor. Arena transfer beginning. Correction dual rules. 1. Target must survive 5 minutes or defeat challenger. 2. Outside assistance prohibited. 3. Party members may be executed if target refuses. 4. System paladin authority overrides local floor conditions. 5. Audience conviction modifies title output. I smiled. There it was. Visible now. The system wanted everyone to know cheering mattered. It did not realize that once a rule was visible, I could touch it. Gideon Cross appeared at the opposite side of the arena in a column of blue light. He was tall, broad, and polished to an almost offensive degree. White armor, gold trim, mirrored helm, spear of light, cape moving in a wind nobody else had. The cameras loved him. They circled him like metal birds. The crowd cheered because the system told them heroes deserved applause. Gideon removed his helm. He had the kind of face billboards trust. Clean, calm, symmetrical. He smiled at me like he was sad about what he had to do. That made me dislike him immediately. Caleb Ward, you have been misled by a hostile dungeon entity.
Hi, Gideon. I am also having a day.
A few comments flashed. LOL fragile guy. Why is he funny? Gideon end him. Dragon Mark looks sick though. Gideon's smile did not move. The system exists to protect what is left of humanity.
From what?
From panic. From starvation. From people who think their personal truth matters more than 1,000,000 lives.
Convenient. It also decides who counts as people.
His expression tightened. I watched a safe zone tear itself apart before the system authorized Prime Ladder. Children died because everyone wanted freedom and nobody wanted rules. So spare me the heroic speech about choice. Order keeps people breathing. The crowd murmured. A small fluctuation passed through Gideon's blue aura. He felt it. His eyes narrowed slightly. Your corruption is making you paranoid.
Maybe. Or maybe the system gave you a hero title because you are excellent at reading scripts.
Gideon raised his spear. The arena timer started. 5 o'clock. He moved. I had watched Tyler charge. Tyler had been strong. Gideon was different. He crossed the arena like a cut in the film. One instant he stood 50 feet away. The next, his spear was at my throat. Ashen sight flared. I saw the attack line. Too fast to dodge. So I did not dodge. I fell. Not gracefully. I dropped like my knees had quit their job. The spear passed through the space where my neck had been. Gideon blinked. I rolled sideways, coughed, and scrambled up.
First heroic technique. Gravity.
Mara laughed from behind the barrier. The crowd laughed too. Just a little. Gideon's aura dimmed. Not much. Enough. He thrust again. This time I saw the chain hard in his chest pulse before he moved. The spear followed the pulse. Not instinct. Not skill. Timing. He was not predicting me. The system was correcting his path. I stepped where the floor rule bent. The spear grazed my shoulder instead of piercing it. Pain flashed white. Damage received. Bleeding. Dragon legacy response suppressed by dual authority. Gideon leaned close. Stop moving. You are only making the execution messier.
That feels personal.
It is not.
There it is again.
He kicked me in the ribs. I flew back and hit the arena floor hard enough to see stars. The crowd cheered. Gideon's aura brightened. Audience conviction. Hero title output. I pushed myself up. My shoulder bled. My chest screamed. My lungs threatened legal action. Veyrath's voice rumbled. He feeds on their certainty.
I noticed.
Then break the certainty. Gideon raised his spear above his head. Blue light gathered. The system cameras shifted behind him, framing him with a halo. Moderator narration active. System Paladin Gideon Cross prepares to cleanse final boss corruption. Audience conviction rising. Rhea shouted from behind the barrier. Now. Bishop pressed the cracked charm into an arrow of light. Owen poured sparks into the shaft, not as an attack, but as signal. The barrier stopped outside assistance from entering the arena. But the broadcast was not the arena. Bishop fired upward. The arrow hit a camera. Instead of breaking, the camera swallowed the signal. My mark burned. False rule detection opened the broadcast rule. System-approved camera angles may suppress contradiction. I reached into the rule with ashen sight. Not physically. There is no good way to explain what it feels like to grab a sentence and pull. It is like putting your hand through a window made of law. I found the word suppress. Then I burned it. The broadcast glitched. Every screen in the safe zone flickered. Gideon's heroic camera angle vanished. Rhea's data charm opened. 30 seconds of stolen truth played across every system feed. A boy, maybe 16, stood in a floor chamber with a silver mark on his hand. Rhea's brother. A moderator floated before him. Prime ladder soldiers held him down. Gideon's voice came from off-screen. Legacy contamination confirmed. Transfer him. The boy screamed. Rhea? Rhea, they said this would help. A blue chain dragged him into the floor. The clip ended. The arena went silent. Comments exploded. What was that? Prime ladder did that? Gideon was there? Fake hero? Play it again. System cutting feed? Don't cut it. Don't cut it. Gideon's aura flickered. He looked at Rhea. For the first time, his perfect face showed anger. You should have destroyed that. Rhea's voice carried through the arena. I should have destroyed you. Audience conviction dropped. Gideon's spear dimmed. I stood, shaking.
Hard to cleanse corruption when everyone can see the soap is blood.
That was actually a good line.
Thank you.
Gideon moved again. Slower now. Still terrifying. He slammed his spear into the floor. Blue chains erupted around me. They wrapped my arms, my legs, my throat. System Paladin Authority, correction bind. Gideon walked toward me. Do you think people matter? They cheer what they are told to cheer. They hate what they are told to hate. The system understands that. I understand that. You are a glitch with a martyr complex. The chains tightened. My vision darkened.
Maybe. But you are a leash with cheekbones.
The crowd laughed. I did not plan that. I was dying and my mouth was running on emergency sarcasm. But the laughter mattered. Gideon's aura flickered again. The chains loosened by 1 inch. Veyrath roared inside me. Not enough to break them, but enough to show me their rule. Correction bind required audience acceptance of guilt. If the audience doubted the charge, the chain lost authority. So I stopped fighting the chain. I faced the cameras.
My name is Caleb Ward. The system called me fragile. Then it called me contaminated. Now it calls Gideon a hero because he kills whoever sees the wrong truth.
Gideon stepped faster. I kept talking.
The final boss dragon did not ask me to destroy humanity. He showed me what the dungeon is made of.
The chain around my throat tightened. Blood filled my mouth.
The floors are not training grounds. They are cages. The cores are stolen dragon hearts. The system is not protecting us from monsters.
I looked at Gideon.
It is teaching us to become useful ones.
The crowd noise changed. Not cheering. Not booing. Questioning. The most dangerous sound in any controlled room. Gideon's spear came from my chest. Rhea slammed both hands against the barrier. Caleb. Mara screamed. Bishop fired uselessly at the arena wall. Owen closed his eyes and poured every spark he had into the broadcast. I touched the dragon mark with my chained hand. Not to summon fire. Fire would be blocked. Not to summon strength. Strength would lose. I touched the stolen heart fragment inside me. Floor 2's dragon heart. Veyrath's voice filled me. Do not fight him as a hero. The spear hit my chest. The world stopped. For 1 second, I stood in the ash cavern again. Veyrath towered over me, chained and bleeding fire. You cannot beat a system hero by becoming a better hero.
What do I become?
Veyrath lowered his head. An exception. The spear pierced the dragon mark. Black fire erupted. Not outward. Inward. It burned the chain heart inside Gideon's authority. The arena rule screamed. Dragon inheritance override. Correction dual law contested. System paladin authority unstable. Audience conviction below required threshold. Gideon's spear cracked. The blue chains around me turned red, then black, then ash. I grabbed the broken spear shaft. Gideon tried to pull back. For the first time, he was not stronger than the rule. I saw his chest. The counterfeit heart beat behind his armor, wrapped in system script. I did not punch him. I pressed my burned hand against the armor.
Return what you borrowed.
The dragon mark opened. Black fire poured through the system script. Gideon screamed. His armor split. A blue ember ripped out of his chest and hovered between us, wrapped in chains. It was not a dragon heart. It was a key. A command key, forged from stolen dragon authority and human belief. The system had used Gideon as a walking lock. I closed my fist around the key. The arena shattered. Not physically. The rule broke. The barrier fell. Mara was across the floor before anyone else moved. She tackled Gideon so hard his cape finally learned humility. Bishop and Owen dragged me back. Rhea picked up Gideon's cracked helm and threw it at the nearest camera. The crowd did not cheer. They watched. That was better. Gideon coughed on the floor, armor dim, face pale. Without the title, he looked smaller. Still dangerous, but human. Seraph appeared above the arena, cracked glass body flickering. Unauthorized victory detected. I laughed, which hurt enough to make me regret humor as a concept.
I survived 5 minutes.
Victory condition invalidated by broadcast contamination. Rhea stepped forward. The rules said survive 5 minutes or defeat challenger. He did both. Seraph's face turned toward her. Rhea Sloan, your contract has been terminated. Good. Seraph lifted a hand. Community stability penalty authorized. A screen opened above the plaza. Rhea Sloan's resident block. Ration access pending termination. Medical access pending termination. Housing access pending termination. Rhea went still. The system knew exactly where to cut. It always did. You glass-faced coward. Seraph ignored her. Participants are advised to abandon system error Caleb Ward to prevent shared penalty. The plaza watched. Thousands of people. Millions through the broadcast. The system expected them to step back. Most did. A few did not. The first was Owen. He walked to Rhea's side and lifted his staff with both shaking hands. My dad is in block 7. If you cut hers, cut mine too. Bishop stood beside him. My sister as well. Mara stepped forward. I do not have dependents, but if you need something to cut, I recommend starting with your own throat. Rhea looked at them like she did not know what to do with loyalty when it was not weaponized. Then someone in the crowd moved. A woman wearing a mechanic's apron stepped across the invisible line. My husband died in floor 1 after Prime Ladder took our healer. Cut mine too. A man with a broken spear followed. My son got a legacy mark. Moderators took him. Another. And another. Then dozens. Then hundreds. The system screens filled with penalty warnings. Too many. More people step forward because people are strange like that. We can be selfish for a long time. Then one visible act of courage reminds everyone they were tired of hating themselves. Seraph's glass body flickered. Community stability penalty overload. Insufficient isolation compliance. Narrative control failure. Narrative control. There it was. The system did not just manage floors. It managed stories. Hero. Boss. Corruption. Sacrifice. It had written roles because roles are easier to control than people. Veyrath had been right. Final boss was what thieves called a locked door. Seraph's crown split. You cannot save them. I stood with Bishop's help.
No. But I can show them the cage.
The command key burned in my fist. A new path opened under the ruined arena. Not a gate. A staircase. Black stone. Red ash. Dragon script. The system tried to cover it with warnings. Unauthorized route. Do not enter. Final boss corruption zone. Certain death. No loot. No rewards. No audience access. The last warning made me smile.
No audience access. That is how you know it matters.
Where does it go? The dragon mark answered before I could. Deep route unlocked. Destination, the Chained Heart. Furnace King Legacy 2 of 7 available. Warning. Entering this route will permanently remove participants from standard system progression. Mara cracked her neck. So no leaderboards?
No leaderboards.
No sponsored gear?
Probably not.
No smug heroes with camera angles?
Almost certainly fewer.
She grinned. I am in. Bishop looked at Owen. Owen looked terrified. Then he sighed. If I survive this, I am demanding an actual team name. Rhea picked up her blade. We need to move before Seraph regains authority. The crowd parted around us. Not everyone joined. Most did not. That was fine. Rebellion is not a crowd all at once. Sometimes it is 5 idiots going down the wrong staircase because the right one belongs to a machine that keeps calling murder efficient. We reached the first step. Gideon coughed behind us. Caleb. I turned. He was on one knee, one hand pressed to the cracked hole in his armor. Without the command key, his voice sounded rough. Human. You do not know what is under the dungeon.
No. But I know what is on top.
He laughed once. It sounded bitter. The dragon did not tell you everything. That stopped me. Veyrath's mark pulsed. Gideon looked at it. The Furnace King was not the only thing chained. The system was built to cage something worse. Seraph flickered above him. Silence. Gideon smiled at the moderator. For the first time, it did not look polished. It looked real. Now you want me quiet? Seraph's hand snapped down. A blue chain pierced Gideon's back. He gasped. Rhea moved, but too late. Gideon grabbed the chain with both hands and looked at me. Floor 4. Do not trust the angel in the salt. Then the chain dragged him through the floor. He vanished. The arena went silent. Seraph turned toward us. This incident has been corrected. No one believed it. Not anymore. The deep route stairs burned brighter. I stepped down. The first step felt warm. The second filled my mouth with ash. The third took the noise of the plaza away. Behind me came Mara, Bishop, Owen, and Rhea. At the 10th step, the system cameras tried to follow. Black fire consumed them. For the first time since the world ended, no one was watching us. That should have felt lonely. It felt like privacy. At the bottom of the stairs, we entered a tunnel lined with bones the size of train cars. Dragon bones. Thousands of them. Some still had chains around their ribs. Some had human weapons buried in their skulls. Some held smaller bones beneath their wings, sheltering them even in death. They were protecting people. Ashen sight opened. The bones glowed with memory. A city under a red sky. Humans running. Dragons landing between them in a storm of white light. Not attacking. Shielding. Then the system descended like a second sky and turned every sacrifice into a monster file. Tears burned my eyes. Not from pain this time. They called us bosses because they needed you to stop mourning us. Rhea touched one of the bones. Her face softened. My brother saw this, didn't he? Yes. And they took him before he could tell anyone. Yes. Rhea closed her eyes. Mara lowered her axes. Even she had no joke for that. At the end of the bone tunnel waited a door made of 7 locks. One lock burned red. The heart fragment inside me answered it. A second lock glowed blue. The command key in my hand answered that. 5 locks remained dark. Above the door, dragon script carved itself into English. The chained heart. Only heirs, oathbreakers, and liars may enter. That is a specific guest list. The red and blue locks opened. The door cracked. A breath came through. Old. Cold. Not Veyrath's furnace heat. Something else. Something beneath the dungeon. Something the system had been built to cage. For 1 second, I saw an eye open in the dark behind the door. Not a dragon eye. Not a monster eye. An eye made of white stars and hunger. My knees nearly gave out. Veyrath's voice became a roar. Back. Rhea grabbed my arm. Mara pulled Owen away. Bishop raised his bow. The door slammed shut. The 5 dark locks burned with white light. A new message appeared. Ancient seal disturbed. Entity below has noticed you. Then, from the other side of the door, something spoke in my mother's voice. Caleb, you look tired. My blood went cold. The dragon mark burned in answer. Veyrath snarled inside my bones. The system is a cage. I stared at the door. The voice whispered again. Open it, and I can make you whole. For 1 terrible second, I wanted to. Because that was the most dangerous lie. Not power. Not fame. Not revenge. Healing. I backed away from the door. My hands shook.
No.
The whisper became a smile I could hear. Not yet then. The white light faded. The chamber went still. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, Mara exhaled. So, the final boss dragon is not the final boss. I laughed once. It hurt.
Apparently the title is misleading.
Rhea looked at the sealed door. Then what is Veyrath? I felt the old dragon's fire move through my mark. Not a command. Not an answer. A memory. Veyrath standing before this door with 7 dragon hearts burning behind him. Veyrath choosing chains over opening it. Veyrath becoming the monster in the system's story so humanity would never ask what he was guarding. I looked at my party. At Mara's bloodied grin. At Bishop's shaking hands. At Owen trying very hard not to cry. At Rhea holding her brother's data charm like a promise. Then I looked at the door.
The final boss was the guard.
The first dark lock pulsed. Far above us, the safe zones began to riot. Far below us, the thing behind the door began to dream. And somewhere in the ash cavern, Veyrath, last of the furnace kings, laughed like a mountain catching fire. The next system message appeared in black letters. World Dungeon System Emergency Update. New Threat Classification, Caleb Ward. Dragon Heir. Narrative Breach. Kill on sight. I read it twice. Then I smiled.
Better than fragile.
The dragon mark answered with fire. And we started looking for the next heart.